You saved up for your Audi. You wash it on weekends. You probably even flinch when someone parks too close to it. But there's a good chance you're quietly destroying your engine every single time you drive. And you don't even know you're doing it. Today we're breaking down 5 driving habits that Audi owners do every day. Habits that look completely harmless, but that are slowly grinding away at your engine, your turbocharger, and your wallet. And before you think this is just generic car advice, it's not. Audis, especially with their turbocharged TFSI engines and quattro drivetrain, have specific engineering quirks that make certain habits way more damaging than they'd be in a regular car. Stick around to the end, because habit number 5 is the one almost everyone gets wrong. And it's probably the most expensive single mistake you can make with a turbocharged car. Habit number 1. Flooring it on a cold engine. Let's start with the first habit. Hard acceleration on a cold start. Look, I get it. The Audi sounds incredible when it wakes up. The turbo spools, the exhaust pops on the overrun, and it just pulls. But here's the problem. When your engine is cold, the oil is thick and hasn't fully circulated yet. The metal components haven't reached their proper tolerances. And the turbocharger, which spins at up to 200,000 RPM, is not getting adequate lubrication yet. Audi's turbocharged engines, the 2.0 TFSI, the 3.0 TFSI, are precision-built machines. But precision also means tight tolerances. Hard driving before oil pressure stabilizes causes microscopic scoring on cylinder walls and turbo bearings that you will never see or feel until it's too late. I've seen 2.0 TFSI engines with scored cylinder walls at under 60,000 miles. The owner drove hard every single morning. The engine looked perfect on the outside. Inside, the walls were scratched up like a phone screen without a case. That engine needed a full rebuild, $6,000, all because of the first 5 minutes of every drive. Give your Audi 60 to 90 seconds after startup before driving away, especially in cold weather. You don't need to sit in the driveway revving it like it's 1987. Just don't demand full throttle until the coolant temp gauge starts to climb. Drive gently for the first 2 to 3 miles. It costs you nothing and could save you thousands. Habit number 2. Ignoring oil levels between services. Here's something a lot of Audi owners don't know. Audis consume oil by design. Audi themselves have acknowledged that oil consumption of up to 1 liter per 1,200 miles is within normal range for some of their engines. That sounds wild, and honestly, it kind of is. But it means you absolutely cannot just wait for your service light to check your oil. The 2.0 TFSI found in the A4, A5, Q5, and TT is particularly well known for this. If you're running low and you're still driving, you are running metal on metal. The engine is starving for lubrication. And the scary part? It doesn't announce itself. There's no dramatic smoke, no obvious warning. The car just quietly degrades. By the time the low oil warning light comes on, the damage may already be done. A customer brought in a B8 A4 recently, 72,000 miles. Full service history, but he'd never checked the oil between services. The warning came on during a motorway run. The bottom end was already compromised. Repair bill, $8,500. He assumed the car would always tell him in time. It did, just not nearly enough. Check your oil every 1,000 to 1,500 miles. Keep a liter of the correct spec oil in your boot at all times. Audi typically requires 5W30 or 5W40 long life. Check your cap or owner's manual. It takes 2 minutes. It is the single cheapest habit you can build around protecting your Audi. Habit number 3. Short trips that never let the engine breathe. This one surprises people. If most of your driving is short trips, school, run, coffee, nipping to the supermarket, you may actually be doing more long-term damage than someone hammering it up a motorway every day. Here's what's happening. When the engine never fully reaches operating temperature, moisture and fuel vapor that get past the piston rings don't burn off. They mix into your engine oil and dilute it, reducing its viscosity and its ability to protect your engine. This is called oil dilution, and it's a real documented problem. But there's a second issue specific to Audi's direct injection engines, and this one has a repair bill attached to it. On TFSI and FSI engines, fuel is injected directly into the cylinder, not through the intake port like older engines. That means fuel never washes over the intake valves. Over time, carbon deposits build up on those valves. Left unchecked, you get through idle, hesitation, misfires, and reduced power. The fix is called a walnut blast, a specialist process where someone literally blasts walnut shell media through the intake to clean the valves. The bill? Typically $800 to $1,500. And on high mileage cars that done nothing but short trips, it can be even worse. Take your Audi for a proper 20 to 30 minute run at highway speeds at least once a week. This brings the engine to full operating temperature, burns off moisture in the oil, and keeps carbon buildup slower. And if your car has significant mileage on direct injection, ask your specialist about a walnut blast service. Prevention is far cheaper than the cure. Habit number 4, lugging the engine in too high a gear. This one is extremely common with drivers who think they're being fuel efficient, and it backfires badly. Lugging the engine means you're in too high a gear for your speed. Crawling at 25 miles per hour in 6th gear, the engine barely ticking over at 1200 RPM, then accelerating without downshifting first. The engine has to work incredibly hard at very low RPM to produce torque. On a turbocharged engine, like those in modern Audis, this is especially helpful because the turbo needs RPM to spool. Low revving, high load driving is the worst combination you can ask of a turbo motor. Long term, this causes premature wear on pistons, rings, and rod bearings. It can also cause low-speed pre-ignition, a phenomenon where fuel detonates before the spark plug fires. It feels like a knock or rattle, and every single knock is a tiny hammer blow to your engine internals. Mechanics call it death by 1,000 lugs. The wear doesn't happen overnight, but when a car comes in at 90,000 miles with bottom-end knock, 9 times out of 10, the owner drove it hard in high gears at low speeds. Rod bearing replacement on an Audi 4-cylinder, you're looking at $2,000 to $4,000. Keep your revs in the sweet spot, between 1,800 and 3,500 RPM for normal driving. If you need to accelerate, downshift first. Use the paddles on DSG or S-tronic cars. That's exactly what they're there for. Don't chase fuel economy by starving your engine of RPM. The math doesn't work out when you factor in repair bills. Habit number 5, shutting off immediately after hard driving. And here it is, the habit that catches almost every performance car owner eventually, and produces some of the most expensive repair bills in the business. After a spirited drive, a track session, a fast A-road, pushing through some mountain roads, you pull up, key out, and walk away. Feels fine. The car's fine. You're fine. You're not fine. Here's what's happening inside your engine bay at that exact moment. Your turbocharger has been spinning at hundreds of thousands of RPM. It is heat-soaked. The moment you cut the engine, coolant circulation stops. Oil circulation stops. The turbo is now sitting there, red hot, with no cooling and no lubrication. And the residual oil pooled in the bearing housing starts to bake. It cooks onto the bearing surfaces as carbon deposits. This is called heat soak or coking. The first sign is usually a faint whine from the turbo, easy to dismiss as road noise. Then it gets louder. Then you start burning oil. Then the turbo starts to leak oil into the intake. By the time most people book it in, the turbo is done. Replacement turbo on an Audi A4 or Q5, $1,500 to $4,000 fitted. On an S or RS model, double that. all because the car sat with a hot turbo and no oil flow for a few minutes too many, a few hundred times in a row. After any hard driving, let your engine idle for at least 2 to 3 minutes before switching off. Coolant and oil circulation stay active, pulling heat away from the turbo shaft. Some RS models have an electric auxiliary coolant pump that continues after shutdown. But don't rely on it as your only protection. Sit in the car, check your phone, enjoy the exhaust cool down ticks, then switch off. It's free insurance. So there you have it. 5 habits quietly killing Audi engines every day. Plus one bonus that the manufacturer doesn't exactly advertise. Cold starts with hard acceleration, ignoring oil levels, short trips and carbon buildup, lugging the engine, shutting down a hot turbo, and blindly thrusting those 10,000-mile oil intervals. None of these feel catastrophic in the moment. That's what makes them so dangerous. It's cumulative. It's death by 1,000 cuts. And by the time the symptoms show up, the damage is already done. Look after your Audi and it will absolutely look after you. These cars are engineering masterpieces, but they reward the drivers who pay attention. If this video helped you, hit like. It genuinely pushes this channel to more Audi owners who need to hear it. Subscribe if you're new. I've got a lot more model-specific content coming. And drop a comment. Which of these habits have you been guilty of? I already know number 5 is going to get some confessions. I'll see you in the next one.